In the early days of the Cistercian Order, Bernard of Clairvaux wrote a letter of complaint about the distracting sculpture found in some churches. He mentions disgusting monkeys and ferocious lions, huntsmen and soldiers, quadrupeds with serpents' tails, satyrs and centaurs. How could monks concentrate on their prayers with all this visual cacophony? Against all this, Bernard of Clairvaux wanted Cistercian monasteries everywhere to be plain and simple, free from elaborate decoration, and above all, no monsters. But the Cistercians in this place seem to have missed that memo. We're here in Jerpoint Abbey in County Kilkenny, one of Ireland's finest Cistercian monasteries, founded under the patronage of Donal mac Gilliforic, King of Ossory. The Cistercians were a reform movement within monasticism, beginning in the 11th century and associated above all with Bernard of Clairvaux. Now, lots of monasteries at that time had lost contact with their founding ideals, and the Cistercians wanted to return to those ideals, but also to safeguard against decline. So they developed a Europe-wide network of monasteries which would keep an eye on each other, making sure that the Cistercian values were being adhered to everywhere. One feature of this network is the uniformity of the layout of monasteries. So it's often said that you could take a Cistercian monk from any monastery and place him in any other monastery, and he would know exactly where to go to find the church and the cloister and the dormitory and so on. But they weren't just cookie-cutter monasteries. There were little touches of local flavour too, especially as time went on and local patrons became more insistent about what they wanted to see in the monasteries they were supporting. And this cloister, probably dating to the late 15th century, is a spectacular example of a departure from the Cistercian norm. We find all kinds of figures represented here, from cherubs to monkeys, from monstrous figures to happy little squirrels. There are faces peeking out of every corner. Some of them are familiar figures, major saints like St. Catherine of Alexandria with her wheel and St. Margaret of Antioch slaying the dragon. There are some of the apostles too, and it's likely that all 12 would have been found around this cloister when it was complete. But what I love most of all in these carvings are the figures who don't seem to represent famous figures at all. They're ordinary people, possibly local patrons, but maybe just generic characters. We find a knight, several ladies, a pilgrim with his staff and prayer beads, a bishop, a priest saying mass. I can't help thinking of Chaucer's Canterbury Tales when I look at these sculptures. They express in stone what Chaucer did in words, a good-humoured appreciation of the variety of the human race. Now, St. Bernard wouldn't be too impressed with all of this, but I think we can be glad, all the same, that the Cistercians of Jerpoint decorated their cloister so exuberantly, because in doing so they bequeathed to us the largest collection of figurative sculpture from medieval Ireland, and gave us a unique perspective on the colour and character of medieval Irish society.